Joining us right now, before we get to that, really cool thing going on this weekend and throughout our state, and I'm a big fan of high school sports, especially high school football and basketball, which is what my son played on his way to a college career. What our coaches do in our state, for all sports and activities, so to speak, too, is really important. The Washington State football, and by the way, we'll get back to the Seahawks schedule here in just a couple of seconds. But the Washington State Football Coaches Association, they've got an event coming up this weekend. They're going to induct their Hall of Fame coaches. They're also doing a mentor program as well. And the reason the mentor program is important, and hopefully we can get William on, but if not, the reason that is important is because last year there were 49, actually currently postseason last year, 49 head football coach openings in Washington State alone over the last year. 49 head football coach openings across the state. That's an alarming number. And the bigger issue is the turnover of young head football coaches and football coaches as a whole that are young in our state. Over the last 3 years, the turnover rate is really, really high. So the Washington State Football Coaches Association is doing this event this weekend. And what they're doing is they've invited 50 new or aspiring head football coaches to the VMAC this weekend. And big shout out to the Seahawks. I'm going to tell you right now, those guys, a lot of it has to do with Mario and Bailey over there and others, but they pushed so hard for girls flag football. They were a driving force behind that, and they're a driving force behind helping youth football in our state. And I have to applaud them for that. A lot of big-time organizations forget their roots, and I think it's really an important thing that Seattle does, the Seahawks do. I see it with the Kraken, with the development of and building of rinks all around the state and what they're doing. It's really cool. But I think what we're doing here with the Seahawks is great. So they're bringing a bunch of young, aspiring head football coaches to VMAC. They're also bringing in 15 long-term, highly successful high school football coaches to mentor these coaches. They've got college football coaches from Wazoo, Eastern Washington, Central, PLU coming in to assist these coaches. I'm sure that might be my guy Brant McAdam down there at PLU, who I think really highly of, even though my son went to a rival school. Also, Randy Hart, we all know his name, former Husky coach. He's coming in as well to give the Keynote Express. They got multiple sessions going on. And what they're just trying to do is they're trying to help. They're trying to help these young people get more involved. And this is a quick shout out. They've got 3 Hall of Fame members getting inducted this weekend. And selfishly, I've got to mention, Rocky Patchen from North Thurston, Randy Affolter from Kennewick, Ellensburg, and Toppenish. But my favorite guy, Tony Davis, coached at Renton, but forever he coached at Tahoma High School. Tony's a former and I believe an original Seahawk from 1976. And Tony was just awesome. And I can't say enough good things about Tony Davis, the human being at Tahoma. And I'm bringing up him just because my son played for him. I was around Tony forever. But this is the importance of high school football coaches, mentors, people that help young people, not just football-wise. We have some great high school football coaches in this state, X's and O's, and I think almost all of them, to a man, the best ones, are also great mentors. I think of Keith Ross down in Sumner, for example, Monty up at O'Day, guys like that are massively successful, but just good human beings, and it's more than football for those guys. Mm-hmm. Tony was one of those people. He did a thing, and I would hope most programs, and he'll be there, he'll probably speak on this stuff, do something called, he did a program called Being a Man, and it was like teaching our young football players at Tahoma what it's like to be a man. And that means respecting women, how you handle yourself day to day, mental issues that so many of our young people are having right now. And it was part of training camp and summer football every year. And I know it helped my son. I know it helped all his teammates. And, state championships are great, and that's what everybody aspires to. Conference championships, even better, are also great as well. But most important is just growing through the sport. And so shout out. We're not going to be able to get it. Our phones are dead.
Yeah, we're having a technical issue, but this is so great. Everything that you just said too. My dad for my whole life was a college football coach, but right now a guy who played for him is a head high school football coach in the town over from where I grew up in New York. And he is actually working with him, and he's coaching the coach too, and teaching him how to coach the young men. And obviously we're, high school, these are boys turning into young men at that age. And what I see the importance of coaching the snowball effect of positive coaching goes so much farther than on the field. It goes beyond the field and everything that you were talking about. Being a good person, being a good teammate, showing leadership, showing initiative, and being there for, your teammates. And that could be anyone in your life. That's what I see from coaching. So hats off to everybody.